14.1 is done. 14.2 is here. A big shakeup in our region, and we want you. Your SC Report begins now. Hello and welcome to the SC Report for March 6, 2014. Well, 14.1 is done and in the books. It was a 10-minute AMRAP of 30 double unders and 15 snatches. And if you're anything like me, you're still feeling the double unders in your calves right now. It was a grueling workout that would test your motor and how much you could go after being completely winded and picking up moderate weight. And as the workout wore on and you got into later rounds, that moderate amount of weight started feeling pretty darn heavy. But while it may have seemed like a okay workout, it made some pretty interesting things happen on the leaderboards. Let's take a look. First place goes to Paul Smith. Now, Paul Smith has been around in regionals for a long time. This is his best performance in an open workout. In second place, we have Games athlete Roy Gamboa. This is also his best placing in an open workout. Christian Caleb rounds out the top three, and looking down in our top 10, we have a four-way tie for ninth place. The women's division every year is an all-out fight for those three spots to the CrossFit Games. This time around, we see Erin Carter in first place. Now, Erin Carter is going to be looking for redemption after getting a do not finish in last year's regionals in event 2, the overhead squat ladder. She's making a statement this time around that she is back and back in a big way. Audra LeBau takes second place. Just one rep behind her, we see Jen Jones and Megan Norris in a two-way tie. Now, we also have a two-way tie for sixth place down in the ladies division as well. It's, again, a battle all the way through regionals and all the way to the games. With all that said, there is no place for ties in the team division, and we see Get Lifted continue their dominance of the open, taking a solid first place. Second place, we see CrossFit Abilene, and Body Armor is in third. If you look down in ninth place, you see a brand new box on the board, CrossFit Big D. This was opened by Captain America himself, Chase Ingram, just last year. They're making a statement by jumping into the top 10 in their first open workout. Now, let's take a quick tour of the Masters division. Let's start off with Masters 40 to 44. In the men's division, we see Willie Max Villarreal sitting in first place, Christian Dimitri in second, and Scott Jones in third. As it stands right now, these men are in the hunt for that top 200 finish. Remember, in the Masters division, in the 40 to 44, 45 to 49, and 50 to 54-year-old divisions, the top 200 athletes in the world move on to a second round competition where they have to complete 4 more workouts to determine who will go to the CrossFit Games. As impressive as that is, we have an extremely tight race to watch here in the women's division. Janet Black is in first place in our region. She sits 10th in the world right now. She also sits in 23rd in the regular division. This means that she could choose to compete as an individual athlete at regionals or even do the Masters competition. Perhaps she might wind up doing both. Corey Banks in second place right now, and she is 35th in our region for individual competitors. Again, she's in that hunt for that top 200 again. Masters 44 to 45. Speaking of impressive showings by Masters athletes, the top 5 men come in under 50th place in the world. It's a tightly packed group, with first being only 3 reps ahead of third place. We see John Bass taking first by 2 reps and 1 rep separating second and third. The women's division has a 3-way tie between Kin Dunlap, Brigitte Fields-Wren, and Shannon Gallagher. These 3 ladies killed this workout and put a huge distance between themselves and 4th place by over 36 reps. That's just amazing. 50 to 54 men. Brian Schoaf sits in first this week, and in a close battle for second and third, we see James Stewart and a newcomer, Robin Saunders. We also have a 2-way tie for fourth in this division. The women's division, we see another tie for first between Maud Hetch and another newcomer, Maureen Triller. Behind them, we see 1 rep separating third, fourth, and fifth. Again, the women in our region are amazingly competitive. 55 to 59. John Marotti sits firmly in first place with 345 reps. The rest of the top 5 is rounded out by newcomers, with Rick Mays in second and Larry Folden in third. Women, sixth place finisher at the 2013 CrossFit Games, Lydia Beard sits in first place this week. Rounding out the rest of the top 5 are newcomers with Lori Ballman in second and Janine Mesler in third. 60 plus men, the growth of the Open is being felt, and in particular in the 60 plus division. We have a newcomer, Gene Stokes, taking first over veteran competitors Brad Steen and Joe Enrique. The women's division, however, we see 3 familiar faces resume their battle from last year. In first place this time around, we see Nancy Steen, followed by Sherry Coombs and Susan Tucker Williams. These 3 ladies will be fighting all the way through for that top spot on the South Central leaderboard. Keep this in mind, this is only week 1. The leaderboards are going to radically change the further we go through the Open. Today's number 1 might be tomorrow's number 500. It all depends on what the workouts are as they are announced. And what was announced just moments ago was 14.2. Earlier today, Dave Castro said 14.1 was an enjoyable workout. Really, Dave? Really? Did we not do the same workout here? He did say that 14.2, it was time to go to work. And he wasn't kidding. 14.2 is a ladder. You start off with 10 overhead squats at 95 for men, 65 for women, and 10 chest-to-bar pull-ups. You have a 3-minute time cap to complete 2 rounds. Complete your 2 rounds, and you go on to do another 2 rounds. This time you do 12 overhead squats and 12 chest-to-bar pull-ups. Complete those in under 3 minutes, you do another 2 rounds. This time at 14 overhead squats and 14 chest-to-bar pull-ups. You keep increasing by 2 until you cannot complete 2 rounds any longer. This should sound familiar to anybody who did the Open last year because, yep, it's the same format as the Infinifran we did last year. So basically, the better you are, the more it's going to suck for you. This workout's going to be very taxing because your quads are going to go, your arms are going to go. Chest-to-bar pull-ups are going to be challenging for a lot of athletes out there. And the leaderboard will probably reflect that next week. We'll have it and we'll take a look at that. Speaking of the leaderboard, I would be remiss not to speak about the behemoth elephant in the room. As the days went on, people were looking for their favorite athletes on the leaderboard, and noticed one of the biggest names in our region isn't there. That would be Aja Barto. Aja Barto is taking this year off from the Open to focus on weightlifting goals. Now, this makes sense as these were the things that Barto excelled at. In 2012 at regionals, he dominated the snatch ladder. He threw up big weight in the overhead squat ladder in 2013 and tied for first place with Lucas Parker in the clean and jerk ladder at last year's games. Looking farther into it and speaking with Barto, it turns out that he has qualified for the USA Weightlifting Nationals being held in Seattle in July. We hear the report wish Barto the best of luck at Nationals. Go be big, buddy. But the bigger thing here is what it's done to our region. One thing you could count on every year, and that was Aja Barto taking one of those spots in the men's division to go to the CrossFit Games. This cracks that wide open. I talked earlier about how the ladies are a huge fight for those 3 spots to regionals. This year it's going to be an all-out war in the men's division to see who grabbed those spots. Now, is it going to be former Games competitors, people like Jason Hogan and Brian Diaz slide in there? Are we going to see people who've hung around at regionals finally get their shot? Guys like Paul Smith. Possibly Chase Ingram might make a return to the games. Or is it going to be a complete unknown come in there and slide in and get that spot? We won't know until May when we're at the Freeman Coliseum in San Antonio. Now, last week, I talked to you guys about why I started this show. Hey, we've got a competitive region. We have some of the best athletes in the world right here in the South Central region. But most of all, I do this show for you guys. And I want this to be your show. And as such, I want you all to get involved with it. We have a Facebook page where we post updates on what's going on throughout the week on the leaderboards, even speculate on what the workouts may be. In fact, we thought there would be pull-ups in this upcoming workout, and hey, we nailed that one at least. Also, I'm one guy in Houston, Texas, and while I've got a lot of great boxes all around me, I can't travel to all of them, let alone get over to the boxes that are in Louisiana and Mississippi. And that's where we need your help. Do you have an inspirational athlete, somebody really awesome who's at your box doing the open, who has a great story to tell? Well, send it over to me. You can send it to my Twitter address, which is actually in the description, and you should be seeing that on the screen now. And if it's something I can use, I'll definitely put it on there. I also want videos of you guys to use in the recaps and also use in the opening sequence as well. So take a video of your box doing open workouts, yourself doing open workouts, your kids doing open workouts, heck, even your dog doing an open workout. And if we can use it, we'll definitely put it on the show. Again, we want this to be your show, and we do this for you. And thank you for watching, like always. You know, I think that's going to do it for this week. I'm Arthur, and you go squat you some stuff.